Hey everybody, I'm Rebecca and thank you for joining me for today's yoga class. In this class, we will be discussing the bandhas of yoga or the locks of yoga. These locks are muscular engagements that support balance and promote the health of the internal organs and the cervical spine. I won't be using any blocks or other props for this practice, but you're always welcome to bring in anything that you need. Towards the end of today's practice, we will also explore the breathing exercise Nadi Shodhana. So please take a moment, gather up anything you need, and I'll see you on the mat.
We're going to start today on our backs. So if you can just come down to your back, and we're going to rest on our backs here with our knees bent and our feet on the floor. And we'll start by just taking our hands to our bellies. If that's not comfortable for you, of course, you can always rest your hands in any comfortable place. And just begin to breathe deeply here as we settle in. Inhaling deeply into the belly, feeling the belly rise and fill, and then exhaling slowly, allowing everything to relax. Inhaling deeply, filling the belly completely like a balloon, maybe pausing at the top for a moment. And then exhaling slowly. And then one more breath here, inhaling deeply. And exhaling slowly. And just allow yourself to return to natural breathing here. Taking just a moment to just feel what it's like to be here in this moment. Feeling the temperature of the air on your skin. Feeling all the places that you're supported by the floor. The soles of the feet. The small of the back. Maybe the shoulders. The back of the head. Taking just a moment to be here, not having to do anything. Now, if you like, you can allow your eyes to flutter open, or you can keep them closed, up to you. We're just going to plant the feet firmly into the floor and make sure that the knees are parallel and pointing forward for just a moment here. So maybe lift your toes, putting them down slowly and feeling into all four corners of the feet. And I'd like to invite you to press the feet into the floor firmly and feel how that brings some engagement into the thighs and into the lower belly. And we're going to do a little work with the bandhas of yoga here, or the locks of yoga. So we're starting with the foot lock, or sometimes called pada bandha. And so pressing the soles of the feet into the floor, feeling the engagement of the legs and the belly, and just gently roll out towards the outside edge of the feet, lifting the arches. Just feel that feels like. And then allow that to release. And now you can allow the knees to rest together, maybe taking the feet out to the outer edges of the mat. And here we will engage the Mula Bandha, so moving the pelvic floor muscle up and in. So see if you can pull that pelvic floor muscle. And here in this position where the pelvic floor can be very relaxed, it can be easy to tune into what that bandha, that Mula Bandha feels like. And this root lock so important for supporting our internal organs and our back and our balance in yoga. And now let that release. And now we'll experiment with this Uddiyana Bandha, the belly lock. So taking your attention to the belly button here, we'll pull the belly button up and in and feel how that just gently flattens out the natural curve of the back just a little, not completely. But if you then release and relax, you'll feel that natural curve comes back. And then pull the belly up and in. Feel how that engages and flattens out that curve just slightly. And then allow that to release. Now we'll take the hands next to the hips here with the palms facing inward. And we're going to inhale to bring the arms up overhead, keeping them about shoulder width apart. And if you can't reach all the way to the floor here, that's all right. Just go as far as you can. Or if you need to put some blocks or a pillow behind the hands to support you, you can do that as well. And so once we've inhaled the hands up overhead, allow yourself to flatten out the thoracic spine or the mid spine, bringing that middle of the back down to the mat, and feel how that knits the rib cage towards itself, towards the center. And then exhale the arms down. We'll do this twice more. Inhaling the arms up overhead, flattening that mid back to the floor, feeling how that brings the rib cage back to the front. Exhale. Inhaling the arms up overhead. And exhale. And now walking the feet back to hip width distance and separating the knees. We're going to introduce a bridge pose here. So bringing the heels as close to the tail as you can. Again, pressing into all four corners of those feet, maybe lifting the arches just a bit. We'll inhale the arms up overhead, this time lifting the hips up towards the ceiling. And exhale, bringing the hands down. Inhale, arms come up overhead. And exhale, arms come down. One more time, inhaling, arms up overhead. And exhale, bringing the arms down. You can bring the knees into the chest here. We'll roll gently from side to side. We can cross the right ankle over the left ankle here and reach out and take a hold of your toes or maybe the outsides of your feet. Pull back gently. Bringing the shoulders back to the mat, tucking the chin slightly here, and feeling how the back of the head engages into the mat. This is one of the other locks of yoga called throat lock or Jalandhara Bandha. And now let that release, crossing the heels in the other direction, reaching for the toes or the outsides of the feet, pulling back against the feet here, and once again, pressing the back of the head into the mat, tucking the chin slightly. And we're going to come up to a seated position from here. So you have your choice. You can hold onto the outsides of your feet or roll to one side. And you can rock and roll up to seated if you like. We'll come to face forward on the mat now, bringing the hands down to the mat next to us. We're going to turn the palms upward as we inhale the arms up overhead. And then exhale, dropping to one side, coming into a twist here. And you can keep that hand palm down on the knee, or if you like, you can turn it palm out for a little deeper sensation. Inhaling to grow tall here, and exhaling maybe just a twist, just a little more. Inhaling the arms back up overhead. We'll drop over to the other direction. Inhaling to sit up nice and tall, supporting ourselves with our fingertips behind the back. And on your next exhale, just deepen a little. Inhaling, arms come back up overhead. And exhale, we'll bring the hands down to the knees. Coming into a little seated cat-cow here today. So pulling that belly button up and in, feeling that Uddiyana Bandha engage here. We'll exhale as we round through the back. And then allowing the belly to be soft, we'll inhale, opening the shoulders. Exhale, pulling that belly button up and in, rounding through the back. Inhale, opening the shoulders back, softening the belly. Twice more here on your own count. And then we'll meet back together, seated, the neutral spine. So we're going to come up for a couple of sun salutations. We'll take them slow this morning. So you can bring yourself to a tabletop position if you like, or come straight into downward dog. Up to you. And if you're in your tabletop, we'll go ahead and take that to a down dog, taking the hands, a couple of handprints out front, and lifting the hips, and just beginning to gently pedal out through the feet. First downward dog of the day, so knees might be quite bent. Let's all inhale up to the knees. Inhale up to the toes. We'll bend the knees, shifting the hips up towards the ceiling, really moving the belly towards the thighs here and pressing actively away from the mat. Exhale, allow the heels to sink down towards the mat. Inhale up to the toes. Exhale, bend the knees. Really pressing those sits bones up towards the ceiling, straightening out through the spine. Nice big inhale here. And exhale, heels sink down. And we'll do this one more time. Inhaling up to the toes. Exhale, bend the knees. Bring the belly towards the thighs. Inhale. And exhale, heels sink down. Inhaling up to the toes one more time, bending the knees, this time taking the gaze forward. We'll walk up to the top of the mat. You can take a moment here in your forward fold. Maybe bending the knees, again, quite generously, perhaps walking the fingertips from side to side, or grasping the elbows, taking a moment in ragdoll. If you do have any lower back issues, supporting yourself with the fingertips on the floor could relieve that lower back just a little. So do what feels best for your body. And now we'll bring that to stillness and bend the knees. Bringing one hand over each bent knee, will come up to stand with a flat back, sweeping the arms up overhead as we inhale, reaching out through the fingertips. Exhale, hands come down to heart center. Taking just a moment here to check in with the feet, checking in with this pada bandha, this foot lock. So once again, rolling the weight out to the outer edges of the feet, pulling up through the arches of the feet and feeling how the legs engage, the thighs engage up away from the kneecaps. And then from here, we'll inhale, arms come up overhead. Exhale, sweeping down, forward fold. Inhaling up halfway here. Exhale, into the fold. And we're going to take a nice big step back with the left leg, coming into a lunge on the right side. So shifting the hips down, gaze comes forward if you can, pressing out through the left heel. And then planting both hands, we'll step the right leg back to meet the left. And here you can come to plank or half plank. And from here, we'll lower slowly down to the floor, rolling forward on the toes if you are in full plank. And just hover for a moment if you can. Then release to the floor. Tops of the feet come into the floor, really pressing into the floor here. Inhaling up, using those back muscles, baby cobra. Exhale, release. Rolling the toes under, pressing up through plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. We'll allow the left heel to rise. Exhale, bringing the left knee into the chest, stepping through the hands on the left side for a left side lunge. Again, sinking those hips down, taking the gaze forward. Back leg comes to meet the front. Exhale, forward fold. And inhale up to stand with a flat back. Hands come up overhead, meeting overhead, exhaling all the way down through heart center. Coming down, forward fold. Inhaling up halfway, nice flat back here. Exhale, forward. Planting both hands, we'll step back with the right leg this time. Coming into a lunge, left leg forward. Exhale, shifting the gaze forward. Planting both hands, coming to plank or half plank. Rolling forward just slightly if you're in full plank, pulling the elbows into your sides, lowering down slowly, hover at the bottom if you can. And then release all the way to the floor. Tops of the feet pressing into the mat. Inhale up, baby cobra. Pulling back against the hands, pressing the tops of the feet into the floor. Exhale, release. Inhaling up through plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. And this time, once again, inhaling up to the toes, bending the knees, shifting the gaze forward. And you can walk or hop up to the top of your mat. Exhale into your forward fold. And then inhale all the way up to stand. Hands come to heart center. Nice big deep breath here. Take a moment just to connect with what that feels like. This is what this moment feels like. And allow that to release. We'll inhale the arms back up overhead. Exhaling, we'll bring in the hands around to the base of the spine here on the back of the hip bones. Inhaling, we're going to open the shoulders back and feel that little back bend. You might slide the hands down the gluteal muscles here, just inviting that little gentle back bend. And then coming back to stand, we'll inhale the arms up overhead one more time. Nice little micro bend in the knees here, really engaging the thighs. Exhaling, hands come around behind. Inhale here, opening the chest. And then exhale, sliding the hands down, coming into our little back bend. And then inhale back up to stand. I'm going to come to a wide stance on the mat now. So go ahead and turn yourself towards the long edge of your mat, taking your legs out wide. And again, feel into that outer edge of the foot. Imagine that there's a wall on either side of you, and you're pressing the outer edge of the foot into that wall, lifting the arches as you do so. Going to inhale the arms up overhead from here. And then exhale, coming down halfway and coming into a twist to one side. Little micro bend in the knees. Inhale, arms up overhead. Exhale, twist to the other side. One more time here. Inhaling the arms up overhead. This time really engaging those thighs, making them nice and firm. Exhale, arms come down halfway. Inhale, arms come up overhead. And exhale, twisting in the other direction. Inhaling, arms come up overhead. And we'll let the fingers rain down. We're going to bring the hands to the hip crease here, rolling the shoulders onto the back, pulling that belly button up and in, and exhale, coming down halfway. So making that back nice and straight like a table, making sure there's a little softness in the knees here. We're going to keep the right hand on the hip crease as we inhale the left arm forward, bringing the bicep up next to the ear and extending out through the fingertips. Engaging our bandhas here, so foot lock, lifting the mula bandha, lifting the front body to the back body. And exhale, releasing that left arm back to the hip crease. Continuing to stay engaged here. Inhaling the right arm up so that the bicep comes next to the right ear, extending out through the fingertips. And exhale, bringing that arm down. Inhaling here, and then exhaling, continuing all the way down into our wide leg forward fold. Allow the head to release here and be soft. Maybe shaking the head a little yes and no. And if the hands don't release all the way down to the floor, you could bring some blocks underneath the hands or hold on to the shins or feet. And now we'll inhale up halfway. And exhale, releasing back into this forward fold. And here, if you like to heel toe the feet out just a little wider, if that works for you. And now we're going to take the right arm here. We're going to cross it over and take a hold of the left shin. And inhale the left arm up overhead, coming into a wide leg forward fold twist. Relaxing the crown of the head. Inhale here, reaching the fingertips up. Exhale, hand comes back down to the mat. We'll take the left hand reaching over towards the right shin now. Inhaling the right arm up overhead. I'm sorry, guys, I got my mirroring backwards. So if you're on the other side, don't worry, it's not you, it's me. Reaching those fingertips up, allowing the crown of the head to relax. And exhale, bringing the hands back down, releasing back into your forward fold. And then inhaling up halfway. If you widened your stance, you can heel toe your feet in just a bit here. And we're going to take this into a skandasana, or a half squat on one side. So we're going to begin to bend into the left knee, walking the hands over toward the inside of the left foot. And that right foot can stay long along the mat. You can lift the toes if you like. And if you like, you can also bring the right elbow into the right knee, really pressing the elbow and the knee together. And bringing the hands in front of the chest in Namaskara. Feeling that stretch along the inside of the left leg. And then planting the hands back down on the mat. Straighten that right leg as we walk the hands over towards the left side, bringing them towards the inside of the left foot. And those left toes can come out just a little here as we bend into the left knee, extending out long through the right side. And if you like, you can press that left knee into the left elbow and bring the hands to Namaskara. Or maybe your expression of this pose is a little different on the side. And then when you're ready, inhale the hips back up. Exhale back into your forward fold. Then we're going to heel toe the feet to a little bit wider than hip width apart. Coming into our squat here. So if you like to put a blanket underneath your heels or bring in a couple of blocks underneath your tailbone, you can do that now. We'll take a nice big deep breath here. And then as we're exhaling, allow the hips to sink down. Elbows come to the insides of the knees. Remember, you can always support this part of the practice with a chair or a bolster, or at home, maybe the side of your coffee table. A couple of deep breaths. And now allowing the hands to release back down to the mat in front of you. Inhale through the sits bones. We're going to heel toe the feet back out wide. Bending gently into the knees here, taking the hands over the knees. And then inhale up to stand with a flat back. So now from our wide-legged stance, we're going to turn out through the left foot. Bringing the right toes in just a little of a 45-degree angle. So coming into our warrior two here, the heel of the front foot bisecting the arch of the back foot, inhaling the arms up halfway. We'll exhale as we bend into that front knee. Shoulders coming onto the back. Maybe you turn the palms upward to bring those shoulders back, and then turn just the hands down. And then bringing some focus to those bandhas, building from the floor up, pressing the weight into the outer edges of the feet, engaging the mula bandha, engaging that belly button towards the spine. And then we'll drop the back hand, scooping up through that front arm, inhaling all the way up. Reverse warrior. And then exhale back to warrior two. Inhale here. And exhale, dropping that elbow to the front knee, maybe allowing that arm to windmill up overhead, really reaching out nice and long. And then when you're ready, inhale back to warrior two. Exhale, arms come down. We'll allow the feet to parallel. And if you want to shake the legs out here a little bit, you can. Turning out through the right toes now, bringing the left toes at a bit of an angle. Inhaling, arms come up halfway. Exhale, warrior two. Again, shoulders come onto the back. Checking in with yourself. Are you reaching into the future or living in the past? Bringing yourself right into this present moment. Head over your heart over your pelvis. Dropping the back hand. Now we'll inhale the arm up, coming into reverse warrior. Continuing to deepen into that front knee. Welcoming any shake or tremble you may have here as a sign that you are alive. Inhaling, arms come back to warrior two. And then when you're ready on your next exhale, dropping that front elbow to the knee, reaching out over the ear. And see if you can bring a little lightness into that elbow, challenging the obliques. And then I'll inhale back to warrior two. Allow those feet to come to parallel. You can heel toe yourself back to the center of the mat, shaking out the legs if you need to. And we'll head back up to the top of the mat. Once you've found yourself into your Tadasana here at the top of the mat, we'll inhale, arms come up overhead. Exhale, arms coming down to the waistline. I'm going to take a step back with the right foot, coming into warrior one. So once you've found your way here with your hands on your hips, please see if you can square those hips. Make them in a nice straight line. Engaging all those bandhas. Belly button comes in. Pelvic floor. Inhaling, arms come up overhead. And then on our exhale, we're going to straighten through the front leg. Inhaling here, reaching up nice and tall through the fingertips. Exhale, bringing the hands around behind. You can grasp the elbows or bump the fists together, pulling that belly button up and in, pressing into the outer edges of the feet, and then exhaling from the center of the chest, lengthening out over that front leg, taking the gaze to the big toe. Pyramid pose. And the front knee can be slightly bent. If that works better for you, perhaps very bent. Looking for the sensation over the shape here, pulling back through the left hip crease. And then on our next inhale, we'll bend into that front knee, inhaling the arms up overhead, coming back to warrior one. Inhale here, grow tall. Maybe interlacing the fingers, pointing out through the pointer fingers here. And as you exhale, just drawing a little line with the fingers back, just slightly coming into a little back bend here. Sandwiching those ears between the biceps. Inhaling to come back upright. And exhale, hands come to heart center, stepping forward with the right foot. Inhaling, arms come up overhead. Exhale, hands come down to the hips. Stepping back with the left foot. Toes come out at a little bit of an angle. Coming into our warrior one on this side, aligning that knee over the ankle, engaging those bandhas. Inhale, arms come up overhead. Exhaling, we'll straighten through that front leg. Inhaling to grow tall. Exhale, hands come around behind the back, bumping the fists together, grabbing the elbows. Inhale, opening the shoulders back. Exhale over that front leg from the center of the chest. Gaze comes over that big toe. And checking in with the toes here. Maybe if the toes look all grippy and white, see if you can release them. Keeping a little micro bend in that front knee. And then when you're ready, inhaling, bending into that front knee, sweeping the arms back up overhead, coming back to warrior one. Interlacing those fingers, pointer fingers come pointing towards the ceiling. And then on your next exhale, just drawing that little fingers back just slightly. Continuing to deepen into that front leg. Little back bend. Inhale to come back up. Exhale, hands come to heart center, stepping back towards the front of the mat. And just take a moment here to reflect, to receive. A couple of deep breaths. Maybe give yourself a little smile. And then we'll allow the fingertips to come down, getting ready to sweep up overhead on the inhale. Exhale, coming down to forward fold. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, release back into that forward fold. Planting the hands, stepping back, coming to your plank or half plank. And we'll hold it here for just a moment, finding that nice alignment of the wrists right under the shoulders, pulling the front body into the back body, really engaging all of those muscles here, feeling them hugging into the bones, pressing out and away from your mat. A couple more breaths here. And then when you're ready, we'll pull those elbows into the sides, exhaling down into chaturanga. Releasing down to the floor if you like, and then scooping up into up dog or baby cobra. Remembering that if you're choosing up dog, the knees and thighs are not on the floor. So we're lifting the knees and thighs here. And then we'll roll those toes under and shift back to downward facing dog. If you'd like to find a little pedal here, again, you can. Shifting those sits bones up towards the ceilings, feeling the extension in the back of the legs. Couple of breaths here. And we'll come from here into pigeon pose. So you can bring those big toes together if you like. We're going to inhale up through the right heel, bringing that heel up and bending the knees, bending the knee, flexing the foot, coming into three-legged dog. So stacking the hips here, but allowing the shoulders to parallel towards the mat. Inhaling here, we'll extend through that right leg, and exhale, bringing the right knee behind the right wrist. And if you're able to bring that front leg parallel with the short edge of your mat, you can do that. And if it stays tucked, that's fine too. Extending out long through the left leg, squaring through the hips here. And then you can stay upright if you like, or as you exhale, you can lower down, coming into your sleeping pigeon pose. There's lots of way to support yourself in this pose. So if you need to tuck a blanket or a pillow underneath your hip, you can do that. And try to support your head on something, whether it's your hands or the floor or a block or a pillow. And then just allow yourself to breathe, pressing back through the right hip, dragging a little forward through the left, continuing to square those hips. Breathing nice and slow and deep. And then on your next inhale, coming back up, pressing into those palms, rolling the toes under on that back foot, and shifting that right leg back out of the way, coming back into downward facing dog. Taking just a moment here to reflect on how the different sides of the body feel. And then once again, bringing those big toes together. We're going to inhale up through the left heel this time, bending the left knee, flexing that left foot, stacking the hips. Three-legged dog. We'll inhale to extend that left leg out long. Exhale, bringing the left knee behind the left wrist, not ankle. Extending that right leg out long. And squaring the hips here. And then when you're ready, either keeping it high or taking it into your sleeping pigeon. Release the jaw, allow the teeth to part slightly. Allow the shoulders and upper back to relax. Having taken this shape now, it's not really necessary to do much of anything. Just to release and relax and allow gravity to do its work. Continuing to be here for a couple more breaths. And then when you're ready, inhaling back up to the hands, rolling the toes under, we'll shift that left leg back. Coming back to downward facing dog. And then allowing those big toes to touch. We'll take the knees down to the mat, bringing them out wide to the edges of the mat and shifting the hips back for child's pose. 3 deep breaths here. moving at your own pace. Allow your next inhale to carry you up and out of the pose. And then you can shift the legs over to one side and we'll come back to a seat at the back of the mat. Like you can scoot forward just a little towards the center of your mat. We're going to take the hands behind the bent knees here, rolling the shoulders onto the back. Again, engaging that core muscle, engaging the pelvic floor. And then we're going to pick up one foot and then the other foot, coming into supported boat pose here. If you feel comfortable and balanced here and you'd like to extend the hands palm up next to the legs, you can do that. And you can extend one leg or the other, holding it here, 2 or 3 breaths. Regardless of what variation you choose, remember to keep the center of the chest moving forward. And then we'll allow the feet to come down to the floor, taking the arms around the knees for a moment. Resting here. And then we'll come into our boat pose once more. So taking the hands behind the bent knees, shoulders onto the back, collarbones nice and wide. And then when you're ready, picking up one foot, maybe the other, coming into whatever variation of this pose works for you today. Staying here for 3, 2, 1, and then release. Hugging those knees. And then we'll extend the legs out long, coming into Dandasana, pulling the left knee into the chest here. We're going to allow that left knee to come out to the side, left sole of the foot to the inside of the right leg. And if you have a strap here, you can use that around your foot, or just inhale, arms come up overhead. And exhale, extending out long over that leg. The goal here to try to lay the belly down on the top of the thigh. If that means that you need to bend the knee in order to get there, that's fine too. Inhale to come back up. We'll take that left leg and extend it back out next to the right, bringing the right leg into the chest. And then allowing that right leg to come over to the side. Inhaling here to grow tall. Exhale, extending out long over the left leg. And then walking the fingertips back towards the body. We'll extend that leg out long next to the other one. Maybe pressing, no, sorry. Pressing is not the word I was looking for. Wiggling would be good. Bringing some movement into those legs. And we're going to take the hands behind the hips here, all 10 fingers pointing forward. This can be a little challenging for the shoulders. So if you do have any shoulder issues, you might just stay right here, pressing the palms into the floor, pointing out through the toes, opening the chest. And if you like, you can press into the heels here, lifting the hips, coming into a reverse plank. So those wrists are stacked right under the shoulders, engaging the pelvic floor muscle, pulling that belly button in. And then when you're ready, allow that to release back down. Now, whatever variation you chose, just lengthen out long over the legs here. Nothing special, whatever feels good for you. And then come back up to a seated position. I'm going to come to a comfortable seat in the middle of the mat here and do a little pranayama practice, a little nadi shodhana breathing exercise as we end today. So you can take one hand, usually your right hand. We're going to make this shape with our fingers. So thumb is sticking out. First two fingers are tucked and the last two fingers, are extended. And we're going to block the right nostril with that right thumb. And here we'll take a nice deep breath all the way to the top through the left nostril. And then we're going to take those two fingers and use them to block the nose as we pause here at the top for a moment. And then blocking the left nostril with those two fingers will release the right, exhaling through the right nostril. Inhaling through the right nostril now. And then blocking both nostrils for a moment. And then releasing the left, exhaling through the left. Inhale through the left. Pause. Exhale through the right. Inhale through the right. Pause. Exhale left. Inhale left. Pause. Exhale right. Inhale right. Pause. Exhale left. And now continue this breathing on your own for a couple of rounds. Continue for one more round here. And then as you make your next exhale, allow your hand to be released down to your knee. And just take a moment here to return to natural breathing. Noticing any differences you feel in the body after practicing that pranayama. Nadi Shodhana pranayama designed to move the breath through the different channels of the body and stimulate the energy. So bring some energy and vitality into your day. We'll release that now, closing the legs and coming back onto the back. Pulling the knees into the chest. If you like, you can roll a little from side to side. We'll inhale, the arms open wide, and exhale as we drop the knees over to one side, either side, taking the gaze over the opposite shoulder. Inhaling, knees come into the chest. And exhale, dropping the knees in the other direction. Inhaling, knees come back to chest. And here, just take a moment for any last movement that feels good to you. Maybe you come into happy baby. Maybe you extend one leg and then the other. Maybe you hug the knees into the chest. And then when you're ready, allow yourself to extend the legs out long on the mat. Shoulders come under the back. Releasing the arms down next to the sides, palms up or palms down, whatever suits you. And again, just take a moment to just be here. When we're born into these bodies, we're born as human beings. Only later do we become humans doing. So see if you can take this time just to reconnect with that feeling of just being. You imagine yourself stretching out inside your body like a warm glove, allowing your inner self to fill all the way down to the toes, all the way down to the fingertips. Seeing if you can bring the sense of a smile to the inside of the mouth. And can you move that sense of a smile elsewhere in the body? Can you bring that sense of a smile into your heart? Bring that sense of a smile into your belly. Imagine yourself smiling with your whole body. Take a deep breath now. Wiggle your fingers and toes. Begin to awaken. Rolling to one side, cradling your head on your arm for a moment. And then coming back up to a seated position. You keep your eyes closed if you like, or allow them to flutter open gently. And we'll end today with the verse that is at the end of the Diamond Sutra. This I say to you, this is how to contemplate our existence in this fleeting world, like a tiny drop of dew or a bubble floating in a stream, like a flash of lightning in a summer cloud, a flickering lamp, an illusion, a phantom, or a dream. Thank you for joining me for this practice today. And I hope your yoga follows you off the mat.